Taylor Hall has re-aggravated his original injury and is now set to be out week to week again. As well as Connor Bedard has a huge opportunity over the next few games to prove how much he's adjusted to the NHL game. So we'll be going over all of that in this video, but before we get into it, we noticed that 94% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your news from around the league, and especially the Blackhawks, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the major news. But like I said, we have another very unfortunate injury update on Taylor Hall. He has re-aggravated his injury that he had originally early in the season and has faced a setback once again. He is now out week to week again, is said to be out week to week again. As you see here about Daily Faceoff, as many other places as well, the score, you can see it all over Twitter. It's a very, very unfortunate injury because, Taylor Hall made a very big comeback, a big surprising comeback before being week to week again once again, but he's back being week to week. It's going to be a tough way back, I think. I don't really think this time he'll be back as soon as he was last time. I think Taylor Hall needs to, sit out for a while, week to week, stay out for a few weeks, and let this fully heal, because it's only early in the season, and you can't afford to lose another big name that you got in free agency like Taylor Hall, because this team, we know, we've said it, and I'm sure everybody knows, this team is not very great. The offense is the best part of this team, and it's still not super strong. So you need every bit of it you can, especially Taylor Hall, another former first overall pick, and I think that, that's a major part of this team going forward. So Taylor Hall needs to rest up and get it back to where he was before the season started without any injuries. But the Blackhawks now have to figure out some things to re-sort out the lines again. So once again, I have the Daily Faceoff lines from the Blackhawks. Now, I'm not sure if these are going to be what they are going forward. These are what they have right now. It's Tyler Johnson, Connor Bedard, and Nick Foligno on the first line, actually. A pretty interesting one there, getting a another veteran along with Tyler Johnson in the Presidents for Connor Bedard. Taylor Raddysh, Lucas Reichel, Andreas Athanasiou. I'm a major fan of this line. I really do like what they have going on there. Philip Kurashev, he's back from injury. Jason Dickinson, Corey Perry, Boris Kachuk, Ryan Donato, and Reese Johnson. So I think that, I think the second line will be the real first line of this team at the moment. Well, obviously the first line with Bedard as well. You can't discredit Tyler Johnson, Bedard, and Foligno. But, that second line, I'm a huge fan of this. Now, I'm not sure what they have at the power plays at the moment. Last time, we know they made a few changes, putting, I believe, I can't remember who it was, but they put someone on, I think it was Taylor Raddysh on that line, made for the power play. The power play was pretty bad early in the season, especially with Taylor Hall out. So we may see a change there as well, making a new move, putting someone there. I think overly the rest will stay the same, maybe a different player here, but I gotta say, I really do like the idea of putting Foligno on a line with Bedard, Foligno's getting older, getting slower, still got the hockey smarts, the IQ, the skill, just, not as good as he used to be, but putting him on a line with Bedard, I think it'll work for the time being. Obviously, we don't know how long exactly Taylor Hall will be out. We just know it's week to week. Not sure if he's going to go on the IR or not. Likely will, unless he feels good. But I don't think Chicago's willing to risk the opportunity of having him hurt once again for a long period of time. But like I said, the next upcoming games, the schedule's looking pretty good for Chicago. They have a few challenging games, but they have a few ones that are not too bad, I should say. But the Bedard opportunity that I was talking about earlier, I think he has a huge opportunity, especially the next two upcoming games. And I'll explain why. Right here, you can see the next two matchups are against the Boston Bruins and the Vegas Golden Knights. Two teams the Chicago Blackhawks have already played. So I think that now that they're coming up against these games again, obviously the Bruins are one of the first games in Vegas I think they played a couple days ago. You're going to actually see the opportunity Bedard has now of what he's learned from these teams, ways of defending him, ways of trying to, not get the puck away, or take the puck away from him, not letting him get the puck. I think we're going to see the first real opportunity Bedard has to see what he's learned in the NHL, especially from teams that he's already played. He's going to see from the defensive side of Boston, defensive side of Vegas, if they're going to make any changes, what he noticed in the first games against those two teams, whether he's going to, make a few changes, whether the defense is going to make a few changes. I think you're going to see Bedard take a real step up in these two games. Now, it's also going to be a big difference without Taylor Hall in the lineup for both of these games as well. Obviously, we're going to have to see how this line, if that line is going to be the one that they choose to go with, if that's going to, make a change in the way this line plays. Obviously, Tyler Johnson's been playing fantastic on this Blackhawks team, I have to say. Bedard as well. Bedard, this season, 4.6 games, going to be more, I think, in the next few games. I think we're really going to see a major step up in what he's been doing. A -4, but obviously Chicago Blackhawks, not the best team, we know that, so I don't expect the plus-minus to be a big factor for Bedard this year, or anybody else on the team, for the matter of fact. But this line, like I said, I think it's going to be an interesting way to see what he learns, what he's going to do different, what he's going to do the same, going to see what works, and obviously this is just going to improve his development throughout the season. The more he plays against NHL rosters, the more he plays against superstars, great defensemen, other NHL teams, the more he's going to learn, the more he's going to develop, and the more he's going to be able to adapt his game to the modern way of the NHL rather than in junior. Obviously, we know the major differences: the size, the speed, the power, the strength of everybody. It's men against boys, both in those leagues. You know, the kids versus the adults. There's gonna be a major difference for Bedard, but he seems to be adapting well. Obviously, he hasn't really had a set line because of Bedard's injuries as well as the power play, but you know, the faceoffs got better last game, I noticed. I think he was around 47%, which, I mean, you can't ask much more than that, unless, like, a positive percentage. But other than that, you know, he's been solid. So I think it's going to be a very big opportunity for Bedard heading into these two games, and as well as the ones after. But I think you're going to get the real reading, the real test of Bedard's hockey IQ in these next two games. So that's all I got for this video. Only a short one here today, not too much news. Give some good prospects and doing stuff, so I might make a video on those guys in the next coming days. But yeah, hopefully Taylor Hall heals up well after that hit by Brandon Carlo. It wasn't anything dirty, you know, it was just kind of an awkward one. Taylor Hall was falling. Brandon Carlo came up with the hip, re-aggravated the injury. It was bound to happen after trying to be out week to week originally and then only missing a few days. So that's all we got for this video. Especially, we'll see the next few games. I think it's going to be a good chance to see good games to watch. If you're looking to watch any games in specific, I would try to look for these upcoming two as well. On Tuesday, tomorrow, we have that NFL Red Zone of the NHL, all games on at once. So it's going to be interesting to see the numbers of how many people are going to be watching Connor Bedard. But that's all I got for this video. If you did like it, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel too if you haven't already and you don't want to miss out on any Chicago Blackhawks news or news around the league. You're in the right spot, so stay a while. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of it. But that's all I have for this video. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the support lately. It's been great. And yeah, see you later.